Hi, mister.
Hello, Mr. Rodriguez.
You're very early.
Yes, your secretary told me to come by.
Oh, nice. So, what is your name? And talk me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Jose Barcelo. I consider myself to be a very outgoing, confident, and persistent person. Through the years, as I started growing, I've always been fascinated by the world around me. What I mean by that is that I've always liked looking at advertisements. I've always liked wandering off into the Coca-Cola ads. And it's always been amazing to me just to see how businesses go through so much just to make us buy their product. After seeing all of that, I was intrigued and I wanted to get into the same type of thing, publicity, advertisements. And it's something I've always loved, just making people trying to feel the same experiences as those businesses try to make their customers feel. So it's always been something that I've liked. I've always been fascinated by numbers and finance, anything that has to do with dividing, analyzing, statistics, and things like that. And business transactions, it's always something that I've been doing my whole life. As a kid, I started by selling Halls and Mentos. And then as the years went by, I started with selling things that were around my house, and it's just been three things that I've always liked my whole life.
So, are you a little bit familiar with what TPN is? What do we do? And
Actually, yes, I am very familiar with TPN retail. I know that you've been in commerce and marketing, works with Pepsi, 7-Eleven, Bank of America, and I am very familiar with what you do. I'm also very familiar with the fact that you are one of the top 5 places to work with in Texas, and I know what you guys do, and I would love to be a part of it.
is there any reason why you've chosen to accept this interview?
Yes, actually, before I used to be working at a place that I really love, but now I'm willing to challenge myself and go do even more. The position I had before dealt with marketing, and it's kind of similar with what I'm going to do here, but I feel like this new job is going to be better. It's going to teach me more values, and it's something that I believe that I can grow from and learn more from in the future.
So, what have you studied?
I studied business in FIU. I did a dual degree in international business and marketing, and then I did a major in marketing.
Okay. So, if you could go back in time, would you still have chosen to study marketing, or would you go to do another thing?
As I mentioned before, I've always loved numbers as well. So before chose marketing as my final major, it was always between either finance or marketing, but I went with the one I loved the most, so I think I probably would have stayed with the same thing.
Are you currently studying something?
No, I am currently not studying anything.
Have you had any previous experience in the field of marketing? Yes.
My first job after I graduated was in Verizon. I worked as a retail sales person. So what I would do is I would try to get customers, I would work with customer service, I would try to get them to us. So it was like a business to customer transactions and things like that. Then I worked with Coca-Cola Company. I worked in their branch in the Dominican Republic. Their advertising campaigns tend to be for the whole world, but they tend to standardize it and specify it for a certain region. So it's sort of a challenge for me to go to Dominican Republic, a new culture, and be that committed to making the Coca-Cola legacy and spreading it on to a whole new culture. And it was a quite good experience working with their marketing teams and making advertisement and just leading it with a few colleagues in the Dominican Republic branch.
So, how much time did you spend on each one of these jobs?
I spent about 4 years working for Verizon and 3 years working for Coca-Cola.
So, if you could tell any top experience that you've done maybe on a project or on a specific marketing campaign that you really enjoyed that marked your life?
When I first entered Coca-Cola in Dominican Republic, First of all, Coca-Cola has always fascinated me as a child, since I was a child. So I went there seeking new opportunities. I had to study the culture, and it was much of a challenge. So the first thing we did, we went there, and the ones in charge of marketing in the country that were already there, gave us each 10 Coca-Cola bottles, and we had to sell it around Punta Cana to just normal people around there. It's quite different because the citizens of the Dominican Republic are much more informal. So it was very hard to do in the time they gave us, which was 30 minutes. Then after that, I learned more and more about them. I decided to study them more. And I then went on to lead these operations for teenagers that would do the same thing I did when I came to the country. This was good because it helped in enhancing their skills, and it helped them see if they wanted to be part of a marketing team in the future, and maybe they would feel as passionate and they would want to gain experience like I did as I grew, and then they would want to be part of Coca-Cola or any other company's future. So it was a good thing just doing this and forging new leaders and forging new marketers and people that just wanted to sell.
Well, I can tell that you're a very hardworking and very determined person. However, are there any other strength that you can pop out?
Well, trait-wise, I would say that, like I said, I'm very outgoing, confident. I tend to be persistent, which can be good or bad. I also tend to work under the time that people give me, so I'm very responsible. If you give me a task, I'll try, and you give me a certain deadline, I'll try to do it perfectly within that deadline, and there's nothing that'll stop me. The persistence thing helps because it keeps me wanting to achieve my goals. In the end, it can be bad because it can be sort of a hassle for some people, but I believe that it's also really good because it keeps me wanting more, and just keeps me going for my goal no matter what happens.
What about any weakness?
As for weaknesses, I would say that the fact that I am not patient at all. I tend to be I'm not patient, so what that means is, like, if I am leading a group or I'm cooperating with a group, I tend to want things to get done fast, but in the right manner. So what I mean is, I don't want the fact that it has to be fast to be an issue for it to get done in a very wrong way, or so the outcome is very bad. But I'm not patient. I want things to get done fast, and that's it.
Is there any qualities that you're seeking to see in your superiors?
Yes, actually I like it when they're not tolerant at all. You wouldn't normally see this from a person that's gonna have superiors, because you would want them to be a little bit lenient and a little bit patient with you. But personally, I like it when they're not tolerant, because when they ask me of something, I would know that I have to do it right away and in the right way. Plus, if they're not tolerant and they tell me I have to do this or I will suffer the consequences, I'll give my 120%. I'll always be working with my strengths to do everything the right way. And it's not that I like being under pressure necessarily, because I don't like it when they tell me what I have to do multiple times, because once they tell me, I already know what I have to do. But I just like it when they are like this, because I know that if I don't do things right, I'll suffer consequences. But I'll probably do them right anyways, and I'll always give my best.
So briefly, if you could tell me, why should I hire you?
Well, you are trying to hire a commerce and marketing manager, and I believe that I am the right person for the job. As for marketing, I am very experienced. I worked with one of the largest brands in the world, which fascinated me, but now I'm seeking something more. I believe that TPN Retail could use some of my experience, and I could use a lot of theirs to work towards the future. Also, the fact that I work with business-to-business transactions, the fact that I can bring other businesses that you aren't already in touch with to you, and I can the fact that I'm very experienced with customer service, with people. I can use Photoshop. I am very technology oriented. What I mean by that is technology is obviously growing around has been growing in the past few years a lot, and I am very up to date with that. I know how to use a computer fairly well, anything from Excel to anything else. And I just believe that if I give my 110% and I become a part of TPN Retail, they will help me become a much better person. And in the future, I just want to be part of TPN Retail's success.
So perfectly, Mr. Barcelo. Very thankful to having you here.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Rodriguez.
Me and my team are going to evaluate what we've talked, and hopefully we'll get you up. We'll call you.
All right. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day, sir.
You too.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, and you are?
Hi, Mr. William Fernando Rodriguez.
Oh, you're here for the interview, right?
Yes, for the assistant management position.
That's great. So, talk to me a little bit about yourself.
So I just recently graduated from Western Michigan University. I majored in food marketing. I'm a very confident, customer-oriented, go-getter person. I enjoy having a face-to-face relationship with customers and also with the business directly. Since you guys go business to business and to customer as well, I'm a very open person. I enjoy working with other people as well.
Very well then. Why did you accept this interview?
Because I just recently graduated from the university, I'm starting to look for new experiences. Even though I studied something regarding food, you guys sell many perfume products, which eventually relates strongly with what I studied. You also sell manufacturing products as well as food. So since I also have lots of sales techniques, I'm very open to work for you guys.
So, what exactly was it that you studied at Western Michigan?
I studied food marketing with a bachelor's in business administration.
And why did you go this direction?
Because my family has a supermarket chain, so I decided to go that way. Since I was in the United States, I was looking for a job like to settle a little bit. So
If you could go back in time, would you have picked the same career choice?
absolutely, I love food marketing and having a business to customer relationship with it, which I can communicate and work with people in order to achieve a common goal.
So, you're currently studying something at the moment?
No, I'm not studying anything yet.
Okay. So, do you have any previous experience in this field?
Absolutely not. On the wholesale market, I have no experience at all. However, the job specifications specifically said that we're not required any previous experience. As I said before, I'm a very fast learner, which means that I'm totally capable of acquiring new techniques in order to fulfill your requirements.
Yeah, that's exactly true. So, tell me what you're most passionate about.
I'm very passionate on fulfilling what my superiors require me to do. I enjoy being rewarded by doing good things. I'm very open to any new ways to do business, and as you said on the requirements, we're going to learn many techniques and ways to
That's
do
very true.
business.
So, what do you consider your strengths?
Definitely, I'm very confident. When working with customers, this is a very good technique that we must handle. I'm also very passionate about things, so when I'm truly enjoy and like something, I go 100%.
Very well. Do you consider you have any weaknesses?
Absolutely. Even though I enjoy working with other people, things might get, if things don't go my way, since I'm usually the leader of the wolf pack, I sometimes discuss with people since I like things to be done my way. However, I'm totally capable of learning new ways in how to handle that. However, it's definitely a weakness that I must manage sometimes, but I always try not to make too much of a problem of this.
So, what are you looking for in your superiors?
I'm definitely looking for a very responsible person, tolerant, very open, customer oriented, someone who could be a teacher for me since I just graduated from the university I truly am looking forward to someone with lots of experience that could teach me how to do things different ways, how to acquire new customers, how to maintain customers, how to treat customers, and eventually how to sell.
So tell me, Mr. Rodriguez, why should I hire you?
Um, First of all, you're looking for a person with few experience, since you want to forge all your employees. So I fulfill that. I'm also a very compassionate, confident person that gives 100% of the job, and I'm looking forward to work with you guys.
Good answer. Well, Mr. Rodriguez, that's all. Thank you very much
Thank you, Mr. Lacuna.
for coming.
Oh, hello, sir. You must be here for the interview.
Yes, hello, Mr. Barcelona. It's a great pleasure.
Nice to meet you, Mr.
Lacuna, Sefton Lacuna. Sorry for that.
Okay, Mr. Lacuna. Let's start off you telling me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a very nice person, very tolerant. I get along with people very well. I'm very outgoing as well. I like getting to know people, getting to know what they like, getting to know what they do. I'm also very sociable. And yeah, that's basically me. I'm also very patient with people when it comes to understanding them and understanding their qualities and who they are as a person.
So you're very good with customer relationships and customer service and dealing with people, right?
Yes, I believe I excel at that,
Alright.
that part.
Are you familiar with Verizon?
Yes, I've actually been a customer for Verizon for quite some time now, and that provided excellent service, and that's something I believe I can also provide if I am to work at Verizon as well.
I'm very glad you think that of us. Why exactly have you accepted to come to this interview?
Well, as I said, I've been a client for Verizon for such a long time. I believe that their values and their goals really match what I'm looking for in a company. That is that Verizon has very excellent service, and I believe that this is something that I can also provide to your company.
So can you tell me about your past studies? What have you studied? Why did you choose that career?
Well, at first I studied at FIU. I studied international business and marketing. Meanwhile, I was also studying in an insurance broker in Affinity Marketing International, which I also worked with customers, with customer service, and that's where I started to really get to know people and customers and how to interact with those kind of clients.
So when you say you were studying there, you mean like an internship, right?
I worked part-time.
Oh, okay. If you could go back in time, would you have chosen the same career you pursued today, or would you choose a different one?
I would definitely stick with the same career I've chosen because I feel very identified in this area with marketing, with going out there, and yeah, getting to know people and different cultures.
Okay, good. Are you currently studying something?
At the moment, I'm not studying anything, but in the future, I hope to complete a master's degree, and I haven't chosen the area exactly, but yeah.
Okay. Do you have any previous experience working in this field besides the affinity marketing, or?
Well, I have started off new projects with a company I've worked for, which was Affinity Marketing International, which made me actually go to the streets, get to know people, make surveys, understand those people, and try to make a product in insurance policy out of that specific target market. And well, that experience really helped me shape and understand the whole practical area.
Okay, so you're good with customer relations, insurance, selling, dealing with all of that.
Yes.
How much did you spend at Affinity Marketing?
Well, I started off since I entered college, since day one. That means that I spent there 4 years, exactly the time that it took me to graduate from college. And right now I'm looking for a bigger challenge. I believe that working at Verizon will fulfill this challenge.
So can you remember any specific memory or something, an moment or an experience that you really liked in Affinity Marketing? Maybe something you can remember that really caught your eye?
Well, I wouldn't say this was a very good experience, but on my first week at Affinity Marketing International, I had to speak with this client, and this client wasn't happy at all. Therefore, it's a very different experience, something that I thought I'll never have to go through. Therefore, with this customer, I had to really calm him down at every stage, really uh, see what the problem really was and understand what the situation was to really help him out. And this took me several weeks to actually complete. This is something that has really shaped me and understand how customers can react to a problem.
Okay, it's really good that you mentioned something like that because dealing with a company as big as Verizon and customer service, you're always gonna have to deal with people like this every now and then. You don't know where they come from, you don't know what their issue is. But it is good that you've dealt with these type of problems before, and maybe it'll help you if you work here in the future. So can you tell me some of your strengths, basically things that you can offer us at Verizon?
Well, yes, as I said, I'm a very outgoing person. I get to understand people, find some type of common ground. And I think that this really helps me with customers because, well, I basically get to know them and get to know their interests. I'm also a leader. I am very good at handling people, at giving orders and actually completing a goal. I'm also very proactive. Once a superior of mine tells me to do something, I'll go right away and complete that goal. And well, yeah, I'm very task oriented and I'm always focusing on what's best for the company.
Okay, so that's a good thing, focusing on what's best and being very task oriented. Because here at Verizon, we don't want to hassle you. We don't want to be on your back all the time. If you're told to do something, it's good that you just go and do it. So now can you tell me some of your weaknesses? This might be a little bit harder because people usually don't recognize what they're not good at, but can you elaborate on that?
Well, yeah, that is true what you're saying, but as for my weaknesses, I would consider that I'm sometimes too competitive. I sometimes try to focus more on, how can I say this?
You try to excel more than your colleagues?
Yeah, I sometimes try to excel more than my colleagues, therefore I sometimes lose attention on what's actually most important to the company and actually focus on, if I'm competing with a colleague, I'll focus more on competing with that specific person, not actually what's best for the company. I sometimes get disoriented because of that, because of my competitiveness of always trying to do a better work than what the people around me are actually doing.
Okay, as a sales representative, you're probably going to be sitting next to your coworkers, so it's always good to be competitive, but don't do it too much because then they'll see you as a threat. You'll get on their bad side, and it won't be good when you're at the bad side of people who you're sitting with daily.
Yes.
But competitiveness is good to a point. Okay. So for my last question, why do you think we should hire you?
Well, the reason why I think you guys should hire me is that as a sales representative, I believe that I'm very fit for this job. I have a lot of experience. As I said, I'm a very outgoing, very understanding person. That's why I believe that this position is fit exactly for me. I get to understand people, understand what their interests are, therefore know what they're looking for in the company. And I've also been a proud client of Verizon for several years now. And I believe that with the service that you guys are providing, I can also provide this type of work to your clients as well. And well, yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you for coming, Mr. Dacuña. We're going to review everything we've talked about today, and hopefully you'll be in Verizon's future.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Brazil.
sir.
Great pleasure.
Lead your way out.